If you're looking to get the best of both worlds, I'm about to take you. Yes, we are standing overlooking the Birmingham Barons, but there's a whole nother history to that. I'm Shelia Smoot. The Shelia Smoot Show starts right now. Welcome into the Shelia Smoot Show. I'm Shelia Smoot. Glad to have you along today. We are right here in the Negro Southern League Museum. It is one of Birmingham's most important cultural institutions, and I'm going to tell you why. Yeah, it's definitely about baseball. And the guy with the plan, and he's going to give you a fast pitch on this today, is Anthony Williams. And Anthony, you are the executive director here, correct?
Director. Yeah.
Director.
I don't know about executive.
I like executive. Looks like an executive. Walks like an executive, and will be talking to us like an executive.
There you go.
About baseball and why this place that I'm in is so powerful and so magical,
Yes.
all in one. And the Birmingham Black Barons and all that goes along with baseball, when other people think of Birmingham in another light from the civil rights. But this was part of that in a
Yes.
good way.
Definitely. Definitely it's important to remember that during that time of such turmoil, that something else was happening that gave people a sense of pride, that made people feel a strong sense of community and camaraderie, and something that brought both blacks and whites together as a part of the great game of baseball.
Right, and you know, you speak of that time, that was 50s and 60s, and I think the Black Barons were way, way before that even.
Yes. So the Black Barons started in 1919. Our Barons team, our original Barons, the White Barons, started in about 1885, I think. And you know, after so long, black players realized they're not being allowed to play. A group of businessmen decided to start the Negro Leagues as a way to give black baseball players a chance to play organized professional baseball. And Birmingham is at the center of that. During that time, Birmingham is a major city, and
Right.
we had a major league team. That's an important distinction because the Barons of yesteryear and today play other Southern League teams. The Birmingham Barons started in the Negro Southern League, which is what our museum is based on, but they quickly moved up to the Negro National League, which was the Negro League Majors. And so teams
Wow.
from all around the country would travel to Birmingham, to Rickwood Field, and the Birmingham Black Barons would travel to New York and all the way out to California and all the way out to towns like Kansas City and Washington, D.C. to play their form of professional baseball.
You know, back then, I couldn't even imagine, you know, I see some of the old footage and all of that, and we've all seen over the years. But when I see baseball, I don't see any of that. What do you think it was about this organized sport of baseball in a time like that?
Well, I think it's important that if you want to do anything well, it has to be organized. If you want to be the best, you have to compete against other people who are the best. And, you know, it was never written into the rules of Major League Baseball that black players weren't allowed. It was just an unspoken contract, a Jim Crow era thing. Right. And so, you know, the Negro Leagues gave black baseball players that platform. It put them on a national stage and nobody could ignore it. And that's what eventually led us to Jackie Robinson and the sports world as we know it today.
And the Willie Mays from here, Satchel Paige, Hilton Smith, Turkey Stearns, and Mule. They had some interesting names.
Yeah,
Mule,
nicknames.
Suttles.
Yes.
And the league operated, they said that till 1951 in my notes.
Yes.
Fast forward to where we sit today. I actually was here when this opened up, and I want to say y'all opened up in
2015.
2015. You're right. I was here. I was a young person then. I was here, and the people like Clayton Sherrod, and there's another
Dr. Layton Revelle.
Dr. Revelle.
Yes.
I promise you, sitting in here today really brings back memories for myself.
Yes.
Because people were really thinking this was never going to happen.
Yes, and this is the result of vision. It's the result of passion. This entire collection that you see is mostly one guy's passion, his research, the history that he's collected over the years, and it shows you that it takes a community to tell a story. It's not about black and white, but it's about people who truly have a love for history, for sports, for people. And Dr. Revelle, the guy Chef Clayton Sherrod that you mentioned, several other players who contributed to this effort, who went around championing the cause of telling this story. That's what made this possible. And so these doors are open to people from all around the world, and people come to see this special collection we have here in Birmingham.
It is special here. It is special from the, looking at just the advertising of the games and how the posters are so cool.
And some of my favorite, like this one right here, the Honolulu Hawaiians versus the Harlem Globetrotters. Many people don't even know the Harlem Globetrotters had a baseball team, and they don't know that the Negro Leagues played a lot of integrated baseball, especially in the West Coast. In California, you had Asians, Latinos, blacks, and whites all playing baseball together. And that took a while to come to our area, but our first integrated team here was 1964. And a guy named Charles Finley, who was actually a Birmingham native, was a businessman who purchased the Black Barons during this time of severe racial turmoil when federal integration was happening. And he created the most integrated Birmingham Baron team of all time. And that team went on to move out to Oakland and to Kansas City and became a great MLB team as well, those same players who started here in Birmingham.
In a time in Birmingham where we sit right now, that was kind of not feeling that.
Yes, it wasn't a smooth transition, but eventually I think the good won out.
Right.
And people that love baseball won out. And if you love baseball, you don't care who's playing.
You don't. you really don't.
See a good game.
Yeah.
And so I have a lot of respect for the Hall of Fame and great heroes of yesteryear, but we want to let people know that there were people who came before Jackie Robinson. There were people who were around at the same time as Babe Ruth and Honus Wagner and all these great names that you hear about in the Hall of Fame, in the traditional Hall of Fame, and we want to make sure their stories get told.
I'm Shelia Smoot. Thank you so much. We'll be right back right after this.
I'm Angela Webb Weinberg, your Jefferson County Treasurer. I believe financial fitness is just as important as physical fitness. That's why I created Get Fit, financially informed and thriving, to help you build strength, confidence, and peace of mind in your finances. Join me and let's get fit together. Get fit, build confidence, and thrive financially.
I'm Shelia Smoot with your Consumer Tip of the Week. Looking for your tax refund? You can find it. Go to Where's My Refund? You can get information on your tax returns for the last 3 years. Now, there is also a phone app called IRS To Go. IRS To Go. It takes about 24 hours for the information to be online once you file as well. Now, it takes up to 4 weeks to get your IRS status if you file a paper return. Now, you can get all of this all through the year if you want to just find out what's going on with any refund now or in the past. And for more information, all you have to do is go to irs.gov. That's irs.gov. Live debt free. Here are 4 steps to keep you in control. Number 1, prepare for the worst case scenario. Come up with a plan to live on less. You never know when you might lose your job or end up with unexpected bills. Number 2, keep an emergency fund. You need at least 6 months worth of expenses and an emergency fund. You can do that. Start saving now. Step number 3, lower your credit card rates now. First, ask your credit card company for a better deal, which can work if you have a good credit record. And step number 4, to keep you in control, pay off your mortgage before retiring. Most people aren't in a rush to pay off their mortgage if they have a low fixed rate and can earn more by investing elsewhere. But if you plan to retire soon, repaying that debt can give you a lot more flexibility, especially if your investments are down and your other expenses have increased, which is happening to many retirees this year. I'm Shelia Smoot with your Consumer Tip of the Week.
Again, I'm Shelia Smoot. Welcome into the Shelia Smoot Show. We are sitting here in the Negro Southern League Museum, and we are just all up in it. It's just a beautiful place. I just like all of what's going on. Now, it is the nation's largest collection of original keyword, Negro Southern League artifacts. What am I seeing around me here?
So our museum gives you a snapshot of what it was like to be a black baseball player during that time, to be a professional major league athlete. And we have artifacts that date back to the 1800s, bats and equipment. We have contracts that are one of a kind. The oldest baseball contract known from the Negro Leagues dates back to 1906. And it was a team called the Cuban Stars. The contract is in Spanish. And it just shows you that these players were multicultural. They would travel back and forth from the States to the Caribbean. They spoke Spanish fluently. Many of them are in the Mexican and Puerto Rican Dominican Republic Hall of Fame. And that's why you still have such an unbroken legacy of baseball that still comes from the Caribbean even today. It's from the imprint that the Negro Leagues left in that area.
I like the way you said it. There's still an unbroken line of action. I mean, I see it. I mean, you know, the big league, the teams, they still recruit.
Oh, heavily.
Heavily.
And they don't have to compete with basketball. Of course, you know, we love our Roll Tide and our War Eagle here.
Yeah.
And I tell people famously, I didn't go to see a Barons game. Well, I say famously, embarrassingly, I didn't see a Barons game. I didn't go to see a Barons game until Michael Jordan came.
Oh yeah, I did. I went. I was there.
That was the thing that everybody loved during the 80s and 90s for me growing up. So it's such a special thing for this museum to be here to remind this area and people all around the world of the role that Birmingham and its people, its communities played in the history of this great American sport.
And the other thing is we do in this museum where you come to visit, when you come to visit such a special place, you can walk right next door and see the Barron Stadium. It's like, it's something to see that this is here, and it came later.
In the heart of the city.
In the heart of the city of Birmingham, Alabama.
Michael's rooftop in Bar Sebastian that overlooks the Barron's Field. It's just that this place is special because it represents so much, the bringing baseball back to Birmingham Center and just remembering the incredible history that was once a part of Birmingham.
What do I see when I walk through the doors? And if I'm a visitor or if I'm local folks, you do need to come in here. You really need to come see this amazing, amazing history of just baseball and other things that go with it. I did not know. And I love the Harlem Globetrotters growing up as a child. They had a baseball team. It's like the Bananas, that new team you see.
It's very much like but a lot of people think that's new, but there were
not.
several dozens, maybe even hundreds of those types of teams. You got to realize baseball was the only thing that people had back in that day that they could afford. You had, little clubs and lounges and theaters, but baseball was the community recreational activity. And the games were almost every day, and people would take off of work or when they leave work, they would go catch a baseball game.
Right.
And it was a part of the community. There were circuses and comedians baked into the games, and so it was a lot of entertainment as well as high-level baseball.
I'm Shelia Smoot. We'll be right back right after this. And in today's consumer tip of the week, how many Americans struggle with credit? Recent studies estimate that tens of millions of Americans have credit scores below the range generally considered good. Roughly 1/3 of Americans have fair, poor, or limited credit histories that can make borrowing more difficult or expensive. So that might be you. And joining me with this consumer tip of the week is Dr. Joshua Randall. He is a PhD. The name of his company is Wealth Revolution Industries, a credit repair agency. Hi, Dr. Randall. How are you?
I'm wonderful. I'm wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Good, good, good. So credit repair is, as you just heard me say, is a struggle for people who want to get anything from a car to a home to just so much. Even employment can affect you if you don't have credit. And you are the expert of the week. So talk to us about how someone needs to get started with repairing their credit.
Well, first of all, I've been in the credit repair space for about 15 years. I've seen so much as it relates to credit, how it can affect people emotionally, like you said, houses, cars, even employment. And a lot of people, they don't take credit as seriously as they should. But millions of Americans, they want homes, they want cars. And so, credit is connected to a person's life. And so on my journey of just helping people, achieve some of their goals with, like you said, the house, the cars, it made me realize how important, credit was and how much of a epidemic bad credit is. And so what I did was, I started probably about, I'll probably say 2000, maybe 10, with credit repair. And I used to sit down with people, and I still do to this day, and just educate them on credit first, letting them know that, collections, charge-offs, late payments, inquiries, misspelled names, anything that's negative on a credit report needs to be looked at. It needs to be removed. And so in my tenure of doing this, a lot of people are, when I come to find out, a lot of people aren't educated on credit. They don't know what it is. They just, they look at credit as it relates to a high score and a low score, but they don't actually understand the intricacies of how to read a credit report. The first thing I kind of, highlight is utilization. I teach people how to keep their credit utilization down, meaning that if you have high credit card utilization, if you have a credit card that's $5,000 and your balance on that card is $4,000, then that's high utilization, so you need to pay it down. Most lenders and most banks want to see low utilization. They want to know that you're making your payments on time, that you're never late. And they also want to know if you're a trustworthy person. A lot of people don't understand the credit law, which kind of relates to the Fair Credit Reporting Act, which is the FCRA, meaning that collections, if you have any collections on your credit, by law, collections are not supposed to be on your credit simply because the original contractor has sold your debt to a third party. And by law, collection is not supposed to be on your credit. So meaning that if the collection company adds that negative to your credit report, you can remove it immediately. And a lot of people don't know that because your debt was sold to a third party, you didn't make the agreement with a third party, you made the agreement with the original creditor.
Common reasons, folks, for scores dropping include, as Dr. Randall said, late payments, collection accounts, high credit card balances, charge-offs, repossessions, foreclosures, bankruptcies, too many recent credit applications. And you like the credit union. I like my credit union too. Shout out to Alabama Power Credit Union. But, and I've always been with the credit union, not just that one. So, hey, they did not pay for that. So as we wrap up, how do we get in touch with you to help us start the repair journey? Because the last thing I'm going to say, they say this, Dr. Randall, 800 to 850 is exceptional credit, 740 to 799, very good, 670 to 729, good, 580 to 669 is fair, and below 580 is poor. But you said you can help us fix it with the Wealth Revolution Industries. Tell us how to get in touch with you.
Well, if you're, like you said, if you're in the market of trying to get your credit repaired and you're looking for a trustworthy company, Wealth Revolution Industries is it. If you're in the credit repair space and you need some assistance, you could call me and reach me at my office, which is 205-419-4340. That's 205-419-4340. You can also email me at wealthrevolutionindustries@gmail.com. That's wealthrevolutionindustries@gmail.com. And you can go to my website, which is wealthrevolutionindustries.com.
All right, Dr. Joshua Randall, PhD, with Wealth Revolution Industries, giving us our consumer tip of the week on fixing your credit. We are sitting here in the Negro Southern League Museum, and it's just amazing that the museum is more, as you just alluded to, more than baseball. It talks about the story of African American entrepreneurship, community pride, perseverance during segregation, and I didn't even know what the Cuban and that particular link
And
was.
women. Don't forget the women.
I was about to bring up the women,
Yes.
women baseball.
We have an exhibit on the women of the Negro Leagues. Women played, they coached, they managed. A lot of black women who wanted to play baseball were locked out of playing in some of the all-American white women's leagues.
right.
And so the Negro Leagues were inclusive in that way, that they actually invited women to come and play as a part of the major leagues as well as the entertainment style of baseball. And so that still exists. They've actually brought that back into existence this year with the resurgence of a team called the Indianapolis Clowns. We have people who live around here that are still living that played for that team, the Indianapolis Clowns.
In Birmingham, Alabama.
In Birmingham, Alabama. They were recruited from this area, and they went all the way up to Indianapolis and all Detroit and played Major League Baseball, well, Negro League Baseball all around the country.
Take me through a tour here. When I walk through the doors, what am I going to see?
In our lobby, we have our introductory map, which shows you, it was made of it's a wooden medallion inlaid into the floor, and it just shows you different places around the country that were pivotal to Negro League history. You'll see 1,800 autographed baseballs of former Negro League players. They were personally collected by our co-founder himself. You'll walk through History Hall and see the days of the Birmingham Barons, the founding of the Negro Leagues, the great heyday of the 1948 Barons, which included a 17-year-old standout by the name of Willie Mays. And then we deal with the more modern times. We deal with when Jackie Robinson's team came to Birmingham. They weren't allowed to play because the team was integrated, and we show how that transitioned to the most integrated Barons team of all time. We celebrate the more modern times when people like Reggie Jackson play here, and of course the great Bo Jackson, who is from this area. And then we can't forget about the person that I say is the most famous Baron of all time, the great Michael Jordan. We have a little bit on him. He wasn't a Negro League player, but it's still a celebrated part of our baseball past here in Birmingham.
I was at that game. I was sitting there, remember it very vividly when Michael Jordan, of course I'm a Pistons fan for all you Chicago Bulls fans out there, and I just segue very briefly into basketball. Let me go back to baseball. When he wanted to play baseball, he came right here. It was just so spectacular.
It was poetic. And
to
I
see it. They were playing at Rickwood, weren't they?
No, they were at the Hoover Met.
They were at the Hoover Met,
Jordan
that's
never
right.
got a chance to play at
didn't
Rickwood.
play
They
at
weren't
Rickwood.
playing at that time. But just to have, I say, Willie Mays, Michael Jordan, and Bo Jackson all don a form of a Birmingham Barons uniform. Of course, Willie Mays, the Black Barons, but still, that's Birmingham history, that's world history, and it just shows you how the great sport of baseball, it goes beyond the boundaries of even its own sport.
You know, and going back to how we originated this conversation about the Birmingham Black Barons, I did throw in that this is the museum of a Negro Southern League Museum. I would be remiss not to mention what Rickwood is.
Yes, Rickwood, the oldest professional baseball field in the nation. We also have here in Birmingham the oldest professional baseball player alive with William Bill Greason. And at 101, Lord bless him if he lives to see 102, he will be he still is the oldest living Negro League player and Major League player alive.
At the time of this airing, he is still alive too.
Right
and
here
that
in
is
Birmingham.
Right here in Birmingham. And I have met him, and you know these folks.
An incredible story.
Isn't it incredible
I encourage
where you
anyone
sit?
to just research his story.
It's incredible where you sit.
Yes.
What keeps you here? What is so special as we wrap our segment up today? What is
say-
the special thing? Give me that one thing.
For baseball fans, for people that love history, or just people that want to know more about the world, baseball is a way to not only just learn about the game, but to learn about history, to learn about people. It's the stories. It's full of teams and names and stats, but what makes baseball so important is that it tells a story of American history. And Birmingham has a huge part in that history, whether it's baseball or human rights, it's all connected.
And last but not least, how do we find this great location, and what are the rules of visitation?
Well, we're right down here at the heart of the city, next to Railroad Park and Regents Field. The museum is free of charge. We operate by donations. Groups of 10 or more, we do ask that you book in advance, and there's a minimum of $1 per person that we require just to put things in order. But it's free and open to the public from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday. So we welcome anybody to come in, bring your kids, bring your grandparents, people of all ages, come and learn about this great legacy of Birmingham's baseball history.
Wow, Anthony Williams, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. It's such a pleasure to see you. I'm so excited, and you're always so pleasant, and just being here just warms my heart that Birmingham has not only so many different histories, and then there's baseball. Yes. I'm Shelia Smoot. Thank you so much. We'll be right back right after this. If you are interested in purchasing a home or selling a home or just talking about that whole need, just contact K.W. Hoover and contact Agent Ray Carter at 205-569-8599. That's 205-569-8599 or rcarter.kw.com. That's rcarter.kw.com. I'm Shelia Smoot. This has been the Shelia Smoot Show. Thank you so much for joining us. And remember, don't be a sucker, be a consumer. We'll see you next week. The Shelia Smoot Show is brought to you by the Walk-In Closet, where you can walk in with the best fashions and walk out looking amazing. By Memory Lane, your destination for retro shoes, sports shoes, and vintage sports gear. By Ray Carter of K.W. Hoover. Whether you're buying, whether you're selling, or just ready to talk about your next home purchase, Ray Carter is here to help. Just call 205-569-8599. And by Get Fit Finance and Trading, a program presented by the Jefferson County Treasurer's Office and Treasurer Angela Webb Weinberg. We are also proud to partner with the Central Alabama Fair Housing Center. If you believe you've been treated unfairly in housing, contact the Central Alabama Fair Housing Center for information, assistance, and resolution.